Warning. Tomb of Annihilation spoilers ahead.
Dearest Rosna C., it seems this latest batch of adventurers has escaped you. Was Selena's reconnaissance so pitiful that a ragtag group of misfits managed to sneak a celestial inside our beloved Fane?
You would do well to remember who is in charge of keeping slaves in line, Orliza. You have until tomorrow to retrieve them. I don't care if they're alive.
It is as you command. Noth. Sokosh, I relieve you of your brood guards.
As you command.
Yes, Nightmare Speaker.
Let's hunt some humans.
How much longer do you need with that brazier, Speaker Orliza? We would be faster if we left it behind us.
The brazier suddenly opens and a misty form quickly coalesces into living air. The brood guards involuntarily step backwards in fear of being too close.
Ogle, find those troublesome escapees and slaughter them to the last. We will recover the bodies when you've finished.
The creature of air vanishes.
Quickly. The fresher the blood, the better. You think we lost them?
I don't know, but I do know we're without food, water, and decent equipment in one of the most hostile places in Faerun.
Better than being slaves. I'll take my chances out here.
We need to keep moving. I have little doubt they've sent some kind of slave retrieval force to hunt us down.
I didn't see any hounds or creatures gifted with keen smell.
Perhaps we've had a stroke of luck. Let's take a brief rest and continue on.
Did you hear that?
Why?
The wind was whistling really strongly for a moment, and then it was silent.
You need to take a break. The wind whistling isn't any reason for concern. A breeze suddenly coalesces into a creature-like form. Its face is one of total indifference as it bears down on the group.
I told you something was off.
Fine, you were right. Run! The creature is briefly covered in blood before it suddenly drops the fluid from its formless body and renews its pursuit, moving with breathtaking speed.
Help! It's too late for you. Shar, grant your humble cleric invisibility so that I might continue to work your designs in this realm. Only 2 bodies. For this failure, Rosnasi will likely try to replace me with that insufferable Fenthaza, if he chooses not to kill me. Brood guards, take the bodies back to the Fane. I will hunt the remaining slave alone.
Welcome back to a compendium of monsters. This week's entry, the Air Elemental. Before we continue, please make sure you've subscribed to my channel. It helps me out a lot. Air Elementals are challenge level 5, large-sized elementals. They have an armor class of 15, average hit points of 90, a speed of 0 feet, a flying hovering speed of 90 feet, and dark vision out to 60 feet. Air Elementals can choose to communicate in the language of Auran. They are resistant to lightning damage, thunder damage, and damage from non-magical attacks. Air Elementals are immune to poison damage, though they are immune to numerous conditions: exhausted, grappled, paralyzed, petrified, poisoned, prone, restrained, and unconscious. Air Elementals can use their air form ability to their advantage and fit through spaces as narrow as 1 inch wide without having to squeeze. Air Elementals can also use their air form ability to enter a hostile creature space and stay there. Unlike Dumathic Fire Elementals, Air Elementals don't inflict damage when they sit on you. Air Elementals do not require food, drink, air, or sleep. Giving a new meaning to the term Windburn, Air Elementals have a basic multi-attack that allows them to make 2 slam attacks, dealing roughly 28 damage if both hits land. Instead of using their multi-attack, an Air Elemental can instead create a whirlwind, forcing each creature in the Air Elemental space to make a strength saving throw or take damage and get thrown 20 feet away in a random direction. If a thrown target hits anything, including the floor, it takes 1d6 damage for each 10 feet it travels before impact. If a creature is thrown in the direction of another creature, the creature not flung must make a dexterity saving throw or be similarly hurt as they get splatted by the creature flung at them. If a creature succeeds on its strength saving throw, it isn't flung away from the elemental. However, it still takes half of the damage from the whirlwind. Whirlwind has a 50% chance to recharge each round. Social distancing with the Air Elemental, please. On their respective home planes, elementals are bodiless, neutral forces that exist in harmony with the forces naturally found on their plane. Elementals manifest a consciousness of sorts when forced to take shape by the power of magic, usually the result of a summoning or binding. Any creature summoning an elemental must take care to properly bind it, but also assert enough willpower to control the elemental. The way an Air Elemental spirit is bound determines its function. an air elemental spirit bound in a manner that enables it to kill will inevitably become something akin to an invisible stalker. An air elemental spirit with less direction is likely to become the mostly faceless, cuddly-looking air elemental we often think of. A favorite habit of air elementals is racing across the ground, picking up debris and dust as it goes. This makes them very visible, though it's not like elementals care for subtlety, and they're about as inconspicuous as you playing a stealth mission on easy mode.
Must have been the wind.
Breezing along the lack of subtlety line of thought, a very tightly bound air elemental can be clad in plate armor, making it into an air elemental myrmidon. Elemental myrmidons have no recollection of their existence as free elementals and exist only to follow the commands of their creators. But be warned, elemental myrmidons are very different from normal elementals, lacking many of the advantages their less subservient counterparts offer. Air elemental myrmidons are challenge level 7, medium-sized elementals. They have an armor class of 18, average hit points of 117, a speed of 30 feet, a flying hovering speed of 30 feet, and have dark vision out to 60 feet. Air elemental myrmidons can communicate in Auran, as well as a language that their creator chooses, usually the creator's native tongue. Air elemental myrmidons have the same resistances as a normal elemental, but air elemental myrmidons lose several condition immunities as the result of their binding. They are no longer immune to being exhausted, grappled, restrained, or made unconscious. Air elemental myrmidons are special in that their weapon attacks count as magical for the purpose of overcoming magical resistances. Air elemental myrmidons have a triple multi-attack that is weaker than a normal air elemental's slam attack. If all 3 attacks from an air elemental myrmidon's multi-attack hit, it deals roughly 24 damage. However, air elemental myrmidons can forego their multi-attack and make a single attack that causes a lightning strike, damaging the target creature and forcing that creature to succeed on a Constitution saving throw or be stunned until the end of the myrmidon's next turn. This lightning strike has a 1/6 chance to recharge, so it's likely not something you'll see more than once a fight. Air elementals are fantastic creatures because their normal disposition towards the world surrounding them is true neutral. If you don't pick a fight with an air elemental and don't aggressively encroach on its territory, it has no reason to bother you. Because air elementals are immune to exhaustion, they are incredible vectors for transportation. They can dash at 3 times most player speeds every 6 seconds without limit. Remember, the air elemental doesn't have to stop moving to eat, drink, or sleep. You just need to convince a few of them to help carry your party members across the desert or mountain terrain. Whee! The encounter could be tremendous fun, or it could end terribly. Just scream at your math rocks for luck. Anyways, what do you all think of air elementals? Let me know in the comments below. A quick thank you to my patrons. And thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that subscribe button, smash that like button, share my video on your Twitter, Facebook, or other social media, and consider becoming one of my patrons on Patreon. I'll see you all next time.